So positive behavior interventions and supports. It's a prevention intervention framework. It's a multi-tiered approach to instruction where we provide a level of instruction around social, emotional, behavioral expectations at the school level in all areas of the school, in the classroom and common area, in the office settings, in the gym. So all staff members have common language and provide this information to the students. So the students know exactly what the language is, they know exactly what the expectations are, and they know what the positive consequences are for acting appropriately, both intrinsic and extrinsic. And they know the consequences for acting inappropriately. And that's everything from, a reteaching of rules and expectations to, more severe consequences when we have to potentially exclude students from school for a period of time. So, but the overall point is that it's a system that's put into place, and the system makes sense for that context and that school. It's not a packaged program. It's not something that someone just comes in and says, here's how you do it this way. It's an umbrella framework that allows staff to build a system so that all people are communicating, both the students and staff. And it creates a culture, a positive school culture, to develop students social and emotionally. We have instruction and reminders and information provided to students and families around social and emotional development of students, which, as we know, especially in middle school and high school settings, enormously important. We track behavioral referrals to the office. So there are kind of these idea of minor referrals and major referrals, and we track those specifically and all aspects of it. So where it occurred, who provided the feedback to the student, what time of day, in what context. So all the information associated with any behaviors that kind of fall outside of the guidelines, we track all of that information. And we track it electronically, and monthly at least, and sometimes quarterly, teams look at those data and talk about how we might be able to address some problems. So if there are problem behaviors occurring in a certain setting or at certain times of the day or with particular students, that team talks about how we can adjust the system to kind of start to eliminate those behaviors. It is very eye-opening for teams when they actually have the data in front of them, because without the data in front of you, we can make all kinds of conjectures and say, oh my gosh, we have too many kids running in the hall, we have too many kids using curse words and all kinds of unproductive type of behaviors. But when we have the data sitting in front of us and we can say, in this setting, on the playground, at this time of day, we see these types of behaviors. By this grade level of student, what do we do about that? And it allows us to make very refined decisions. So improving behavior for behavior's sake, I think, is worthless. I think we'd be happy to see happier students and positive interactions, but without student achievement and without the ultimate outcome of students increasing their academic skills, it's all for naught. So we always are looking at social and emotional development, behavioral supports in the context of increased student achievement. And that, part of it is refining the teaching practices. And if teachers are spending less time dealing with even low level, high incident type of behavior in the classroom setting, they're spending more time teaching and imparting knowledge on students. So that ultimately is it. We have a responsibility to make sure that students graduate with a diploma and have the skills that are necessary to move on to the world of work and or post-secondary education. We do have a responsibility to look at indicators of growth over time, and I think we can point to better outcomes in specific skills like reading and math. And we have good measures for, in curriculum-based measures for both reading and math. We have good indicators of success. And I would say the lower grades, what is now going to be the Smarter Balanced statewide assessment, we will have indicators of success, and I expect to see more of our students hitting benchmarks of success at the lower grades, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and into middle school. Also, we have to see better graduation rates. We are happy with some of these more proximal outcomes. We have
proximal means direct outcomes that you can measure, right?
A little closer outcomes, in that we have a dropout rate that continues to decline, and we have graduation rates and 4- and 5-year cohort graduation rates that are continuing to increase, but not to the level that we need to see. And that ultimately is what I believe we will see. As we implement these systems over time, we will see better graduation rates.